CNBC TV18 celebrates its 19th birthday, we decided to touch base with some of the guests who have indulged us with numerous chats over the last several years, online and offline. Needless to say, all of them have been equally enriching. And one such guest has always been Mr. Sanjiv Goenka, Chairman of CESC. Mr. Goenka, thank you so much, not just for joining us today, but over the last many years as well.
Well, first of all, many good wishes on your 19th birthday. I think it's been an awesome 19 years. CNBC has actually redefined the way economic and business news is presented in the country. And I think it's become so much a part of each corporate's daily life that we now sometimes wonder what we did when CNBC did not exist.
Mr. Goenka, those are very generous words, and we will try and live up to those expectations that you have put forth for us. Thank you very much. But before we get discussing your business, let me get the hygiene question out of the way. Any update at all about the listing date of the demerged entities, and have you received the West Bengal electricity regulators' approval for the demerger of the power business?
Okay, I think we should be looking at listing fairly soon. I think we are just awaiting the final procedural clearance, and it should happen. So I think maybe another 4 weeks, and I think we should be seeing that. But you know, that's an estimate. It could be 5, it could be slightly less, but sometime in January, I think you should see that. So that is as far as the listing is concerned. And I think we would expect the clearance from on the PPA from the regulators soon. I can't really put a time to it, but hopefully soon. And thereafter, we will move with that as well.
Mr. Goenka, good morning. Thank you for joining us on a special day. So you're still working with the original plan of splitting the generation and the transmission business, or have you put that on hold, as some analysts had suggested earlier?
No, I think the conditions under which we considered demerger of generation and distribution still remains valid. And so yes, we are going to go ahead with that, yes. And the idea is eventually to integrate all our distribution entities under one and integrate all our generation entities under one entity. And so that, I think, is another important thing that we would like to do as step 2. So we have distribution franchises in Rajasthan, we have distribution in Greater Noida, and I think we've just bid for another distribution franchise in Maharashtra. So I think we would like to integrate all our distribution entities under one roof, under one management, so that you can actually pool in resources, you can get best practices, and likewise for generation.
Mr. Goenka, I know your heart is set on distribution business, and I'll come to it in a bit. But on your power generation, you'd mentioned that you're neither looking for capacity expansion, nor are you looking to buy stressed assets. Then what will you do with the annual cash? I mean, where is the growth going to come from?
Okay, so you talk about the distribution later, but that's where the growth is going to come from. And that's why the need for a separate distribution entity, because that is where almost all the growth is going to go in from. And as far as generation is concerned, we will add capacity only to the extent that our distribution zones need power. So our generation strategy will be backed by our own distribution rather than depending on any other DISCOM. So it's not that there will be no growth in generation, but there will be limited growth in generation.
Okay. So now about what you call the growth driver, your distribution business. Are you looking to bid for more distribution franchises? How have the Rajasthan elections impacted the AT&C losses over there?
Well, the Rajasthan business is finally showing traction. The losses are coming down steadily. I think it took us a little while for people to understand the language, the dialect, the psyche of people in Rajasthan. And I think now that the team has begun to understand that, results are fairly visible. And of course, when there are elections, then, all activities of preventing pilferage, etc., comes on a pause. So hopefully soon it will resume. But yes, that's now seeing it's completely getting on track, and we're fairly optimistic about the coming year in terms of the Rajasthan franchise. And Maharashtra, we've put in a bid for one zone. Let's see, I think we should know in the next 15 days, fingers crossed.
Okay, all the best with that. You mentioned pilferage. So how has it impacted financials, and will you have to defer your profit break-even target because of that?
I think it gets deferred. Maybe, the activities that would have happened in November and December ordinarily in terms of police support and administration support and all gets deferred. So I think that will probably, November, December was like at a pause. January will again resume.
So what is the current break-even target, the internal target that the company is working with?
I think we are breaking even now. So November should have been a break-even month. And I think going forward, it should be pretty much like that.
Okay, now let me ask about the category which is grabbing all the eyeballs, your 2Yum product, your FMCG business. What's the profit run rate like? And given, high ads, distribution cost, just tell us about your new launches.
So we are now at a beat rate of roughly about 600 crores annualized. We are just launching a new product. We've just launched, in fact, last week, which is Karare. It's baked, it's an extrude, it's baked. To my mind, it is the best product that we've launched so far. We've launched several products, all of which are doing well, but I think, but this is probably the best. And it's a category that's extremely strong, sells very well, and the first time a baked product in that category is being launched. So we are very optimistic and bullish about it. And it's called Karare, so it's something that we are very optimistic about. And yes, you're right that we are not covering our advertising and marketing expenses at this point in time, but hopefully from around June of next year, we should be in a position to cover that. And then I think it's achhe din. We're growing about 15 to 18% month on month, and we hope that we'll keep up that number.
Okay, well, not just eyeballs that you're grabbing taste buds as well, right, with the new launches. But while we are on the subject of a stake sale of First Source, any plans to offload stake there, and how is that business doing in general?
First Source is doing well, and we have now engaged McKinsey to see what we can do to develop that business further. It's now not about growing from where we are by 10-15% on our bottom lines, which will happen, but the idea is to see how do we grow exponentially, and how do we actually increase our sales by 15% every year, and how do we get to 700-800 crores profit in the next 3 to 4 years. And that is an exercise that McKinsey is helping us with, and I think that exercise will be pretty much on for the next 6 months. And so it'll involve fairly dramatic decisions, including upscaling our team and getting into AI and robotics and in a much stronger way, and which is what we will do.
Okay, and finally, Mr. Goenka, there have been rumors of a QIP in Philips Carbon. Any updates?
I actually just wanted to add, lots of people have been asking me that is there going to be a public issue or a QIP in Philips Carbon Black, and I wish to categorically state at this point in time, there is no plans for any such thing. So there is no further equity dilution envisaged at this point in time.
Okay, Mr. Goenka, we'll let you go on that note. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to us on an important day.